Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup.
This is the raw, naked truth.
A deal with Ukraine, the budget moves forward, consumer confidence dropping, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Ukrainian President Zelensky has agreed to a draft of a minerals deal with the White House, President Donald Trump said on Tuesday. Trump told reporters that the Ukrainian leader plans to travel to D.C. on Friday to meet with him after the officials agreed to the terms of the deal, which was first reported by Reuters. President Trump added that the two leaders are just in the process of negotiating. We've pretty much negotiated our deal on earth minerals and various other things, Trump said. We'll be looking at general security for Ukraine later on. I don't think that's going to be a problem. There are a lot of people that want to do it, and I spoke with Russia about it. They didn't seem to have a problem with it. So I think they understand they're not going back. The pact, which would involve giving the U.S. access to natural resources in exchange for America's support of Ukraine amid its war with Russia, was days in the making. Trump said on Friday that his administration was pretty close to striking a deal, and on Monday, he hinted that a meeting between him and Zelensky was imminent. The House of Representatives has adopted a resolution that will eventually become a massive multi-trillion-dollar bill full of President Donald Trump's priorities on the border, defense, energy, and taxes. In a major victory for House GOP leaders, the resolution passed in a 217 to 215 vote. All Democrats voted against the measure, along with lone Republican rebel Representative Thomas Massie, who is concerned about its effect on the national deficit. The next step is now for the relevant House committees to meet and build their own proposals, which will eventually be returned into the framework and negotiated into a compromise deal with the Senate. Federal employees within the intelligence community are under investigation for allegedly misusing an internal agency messaging board to dish on their sexual fantasies under the guise of DEI, said officials. Chat logs from the NSA's IntelLink messaging platform, obtained by researchers from the Manhattan Institute, reportedly via sources within the NSA, revealed employees from various intelligence agencies discussing their experiences with gender reassignment surgery, artificial genitalia, hormone therapy, polyamory, and pronoun usage. Some of these agencies reportedly include the Defense Intelligence Agency, U.S. Naval Intelligence, and the NSA. One Defense Intelligence Agency officer who had gender transition surgery appears to have written messages about experiences being penetrated, while other messages included graphic descriptions of laser hair removal, hormone replacement therapy, and breast augmentation, among other procedures. Some discussions included talk about sexual arousal post-operation and other lewd sexual experiences. The Senate rejected a measure led by Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont by an overwhelming majority that sought to impose restrictions on U.S. arms sale to Israel. The outcome, however, showcased a growing schism within the Democratic Party over the policies of Israel's right-wing government and the U.S. response to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The bill, which sought to block the $20 billion sales deal of tank rounds, high-explosive mortar rounds, and joint direct attack munitions, were supported by at least 17 Democratic senators representing more than a third of the caucus, backing what was once a fringe position in Congress. All Republicans voted to block the bill. Meanwhile, Hamas is regrouping its military forces for a potential return to fighting with Israel in Gaza, as mediators work to salvage the ceasefire that expires this weekend in the Strip. The militant group's armed wing has appointed new commanders and begun mapping out where to position fighters in the event of a return to war, according to Arab officials who talk with Hamas. The U.S. designated terrorist group also has started repairing its underground tunnel network and has passed out leaflets to inexperienced new fighters on how to use weapons to mount a guerrilla war against Israel, according to the Arab officials. The United Kingdom took steps on Tuesday to ramp up its defense spending ahead of UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's meeting with President Donald Trump this week. Starmer said that in the face of continued Russian aggression against Ukraine, and by extension Europe, the UK will increase its defense spending to 2.5% of its gross domestic value, up from the 2.3% it currently spends, an increase that amounts to approximately £13.4 billion, or nearly $17 billion more each year on defense. In addition, Starmer said the UK will continue to increase its defense spending goal to reach 3% of its GDP during the next parliament, which, barring any snap election, will begin after 2029. Taiwan says it caught a Chinese crude freighter in the act of severing an undersea communications cable, adding that it couldn't rule out sabotage. China's foreign ministry spokesperson told the Financial Times that he was not familiar with the incident. If intentional, the incident would be the latest in what Taiwan calls China's gray zone harassment campaign against the island country. Both China and Russia have been accused of severing subsea cables around the world in recent months. A massive 2,200 male-only migrant shelter has opened in the Bronx, despite residents venting their opposition to the move, and as the city announces the closures of other migrant shelters throughout New York City, including the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan. The new facility, a 275,000 square foot former warehouse, began accepting migrants on Saturday, said a spokesperson for the mayor's office. The opening of the facility, located at 825 East 141st Street, and the prospect of such a large influx of migrant men being housed in the community sparked furious scenes at a Bronx Community Board meeting last month, where residents also said that they were never consulted on the decision. The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index dropped nearly 7% in February, the lowest reading since June and the biggest monthly decline since 2021, as Americans increasingly worry about inflation, tariffs, and the labor market. Economists say President Trump's proposed tariffs on U.S. trade partners like Canada and Mexico could accelerate inflation. One of the board's senior economists noted a sharp increase in index participants mentioning tariffs back to a level unseen since 2019. Still, several other indicators suggest that the U.S. economy continues to grow and is outperforming most major economies. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.